Yes. Okay, here we are. Hey, just casual, relaxing pose on my foam roller. Just sitting on my butt, on the very, very most painful part of my butt cheek. Don't mind me, but if you're here for the same reason, then welcome. That was the strangest introduction ever. So I'm trying something new today, which is why everything's gonna sound super awkward because I've never done it before. But I'm trying something new where this is where it came from. You know what? Before we even get where it came from, if you're here, welcome. If you're here to roll out your hips, if you're here to roll out your hamstrings, and if you're here to open up your hips and maybe release some lower back tightness or release some knee pain, you're in the right place. Grab your foam roller, have a seat on it. I'll get to what we're doing in a second. No, I'll get to it now. So real quick, this is a video that we're foam rolling together and we're stretching together. And I don't know how long it's going to be because it's the first time I've ever done it, but what we are doing is foam rolling our butt cheeks, and we're going to foam roll our hip flexors and probably a little bit of our hamstrings, because the collective we, and mostly me, has a lot of hip tightness right now, has a lot of inner thigh tightness right now, and a little bit of knee pain right now. Sometimes when my hips tighten up, I get a little bit of lower back strain. So if you're in that club, you're in the right place. Join us. So right now all I'm doing is searching and destroy method. I'm searching for a knot. I'm searching for something like a painful trigger point, as I like to call them. I'm searching for basically Satan's eyeball, I don't know. Just a really tender part of the muscle tissue, fascia tissue, that is tender. It's called a knot, and this is tension and energy that accumulates in our fascia and makes our bodies tighten up and tense up, and it's natural. It's totally part of our, just our bodies. There's a piece of glass on the floor. Safety. Throw it in the fireplace. What else? And, okay, where am I going? So these knots, they can cause our body to tense up, and they can make our muscles inflame and tighten up and sort of tweak and twist in certain ways that puts more stress and strain on our joints, which is why when our muscles are tight, it tends to lead towards joint pain, like the knee, like the hip, like the back. And it's actually not the joints at all that are the core, that are the root cause of the pain, but because we feel it there, we automatically think, oh my gosh, I have a knee problem. Why are my knees hurting every time I walk, or I walk up the stairs, or I walk down the stairs, or what have you? Why does my lower back hurt? I have a back problem. It is more than likely, unless you have ignored this problem for years and years, or you have, I'm not even going to go into it. It's more than likely that your muscles are actually just too tight, that you have too many knots, too much buildup in your body, and it's straining your body to go out of alignment slightly and putting unnecessary strain on those joints. So that's where we are. I'll go into more detail about it, but that's really what you need to know. So that's why foam rolling, massage therapy, self-myofascial release, using these little ball examples, any other types of myofascial release where you might see like scraping, you might see cupping. It's another mechanism to release these knots in our bodies. I'm using a foam roller because it's what I have. I have balls as well, which get into the nooks and crannies of the smaller muscle groups. So this is like a lacrosse style ball. It's hard. This is a spiky one. It's really hard, and I use them for different techniques also. I've also used tennis balls and softballs all the time. This I ordered online. It's from WOD Nation. Not an ad, just what I ordered it from. And so today, since this is a really common issue, we're going to be focusing on our hips, our hamstrings, and our quads. So we're foam rolling first because think of your muscle as, picture this. Think of your muscle as a rope with knots tied into it. Now we want to stretch that rope because we want it to be as long and as free-flowing as possible. So with the knots in it, we are pulling on the rope, we're trying to stretch it. But not only are the knots getting tighter, but we're just stretching a rope with knots in it. So there's never any way that we're going to stretch that rope to its full capacity. When we foam roll, it's as if we are first addressing, untying each of those knots so that that rope is completely open. It's completely unknotted and free to be stretched to where we're capable of. So when we stretch our body with knots in it first without addressing the knots, we're not really doing much because the knots are still going to be in there. So right now I'm sitting on my left butt cheek on the foam roller. And to be honest, this is not quite getting it. This is kind of a soft foam roller. If you have a black foam roller or a hard one with spikes, that's going to be more intense. This is good for some things, but not for everything. So I'm going to take this little lacrosse style ball and I'm going to sit on it on my left butt cheek and I'm going to search for a spot that is very tender. So I found one. So this is what I call search and destroy. You're going to roll around on your foam roller or your ball until you find a point, until you find a trigger point, a knot. We'll just call it a knot from now on because it's simple to say. And you're going to rest your body weight on it. You don't really have to move. You are just going to hold your body weight on top of that ball. And what we're doing is putting pressure on the knot and encouraging it to open up, shake out, release, go home, leave the country, get out of town, outlaw. Okay, I know I'm just saying words. So the idea for this video, and hopefully it will continue, but the idea for this video came about because personally, and I don't know if you guys agree, but foam rolling is so painful and pretty much the bane of my existence. Like, thinking about doing it can be, I guess you would say, I'd feel a little resistant to it because it hurts. It hurts. We're putting pain into our body. It's not pleasant. And oftentimes I just convince myself not to do it. The thing that gets me to do it is when my body is hurting so much that I literally cannot stand it anymore, or I'm afraid I'm going to get injured, or I do get injured, and then I'm like, all right, now you're going to do the responsible thing and take care of your body, Christine. Good. Yeah, continue doing all the lifting, continue doing all the activity, pushing your body, challenging it, which is amazing, yes. But don't expect it to just be okay with you doing all that to it and not giving it some love, not giving it some R&R, okay? This is R&R, even though it's painful. So we have to do this behind the scenes work, whether it's getting a deep tissue massage, none of that Swedish massage BS, if you're really serious about your body moving optimally. So deep tissue body work, working on the area until it actually releases. So that's why we're only doing one little area today, because focusing is important. And I literally lost my train of thought. Right, so getting myself to do it is hard, but when I am doing something for the purpose to help others, like creating this video to hopefully help you do this, once you feel the trigger point release a little bit, you're going to actually move around and search and destroy to find another one. Okay, I did find another one. So now if you're with me, I'm going to go back to the foam roller. If you're with me doing the same movements, you're going to turn more onto your side, and we are going to, let me just show you real quick. We're going to foam roll the side area, so it'll be a little bit of the glute and a little bit of the top of the IT band, which is the line, the muscular line that runs up the side of your leg. So we're going to go dig into the side glute, which there should be lots of juicy knots in there. So you can open up your body to search for it. You can bring your body more onto its side, but we're going to search, roll around to find a point, a knot to destroy. Okay, found one. I'm leaning back slightly for this. And I'm actually going to bring some leg movement into this because I feel it's deep. When I feel the knot is deep where I can't quite get to it, I move my body around a little bit to encourage the muscle to kind of spread around, move around, and get a little bit deeper into that tissue. Okay, so found one. I'm just going to rest here. Okay, so yeah, when I have to do things for, not have to, but when I choose to do things for other people, to help them, to teach them, to inspire them, what have you, I will go way out of my way to do it. It's just how I work. I truly have to, I've become a lot better at doing things for myself for self-care purposes, but it is easier for me to put the perspective of doing something for another as the filter that gets me to go outside my comfort zone or to do something that's hard or to do something that's challenging. Like even with public speaking, which is nerve-wracking for me, and there are parts that I do enjoy, but when I think of what I hopefully have a value to give others or teach others or inspire or motivate others, that kind of wipes out any fears or any nerves that I have, because now I have a purpose that's bigger than myself. So this is a long story to explain why I'm making this video. The other reason is, now I'm going to, so let's go back to foam rolling. I'm going to shift a little bit because I feel like that knot has sort of broken up a bit. I'm going to come up a little bit higher. I'm going to try the top of my glutes, see if I feel anything there. I do feel a little something there. So I pretty much rolled to the very, very top of my butt cheek or the bottom of my back, and now I'm pushing my glute down as I roll, as I foam roll down. And from that, from there I found a spot, a really bad one, deep in there. Okay. The other reason I wanted to do this is because when I work with my personal training clients or my warrior team, and like a tweak pops up in their body or just even prehab wise, I encourage them to foam roll. I encourage them, these are the muscles that are commonly tight in the type of work that you do because you're sedentary and sit at a desk all day. So make sure that you foam roll this a couple times a week. And they'll either say yes and then don't do it, or they'll say yes and they do it, but they do it wrong, where they're kind of like rolling all over the place and they're not really giving it the full focus and attention that it needs, because when you do give it the full focus and attention it needs, it's painful and it hurts and it's not pleasant. So someone who doesn't want to really feel the pain may just skirt around it and sort of just go through the motions and not really do the full thing. And then sometimes they'll just do it for too short of a time where the body doesn't get the release that it would have if they were doing it right or if they did it a little bit longer. So I thought, since we all hate foam rolling, why not make a video so that we can all do it together on a regular basis and hopefully get a little bit entertained with me talking, or maybe learn something, or who knows what. So we're all getting a win here. I'm foam rolling myself. You are learning to foam roll correctly for the appropriate length of time, learning a little bit, and yeah, we're all gonna make our bodies feel amazing at the end of all this. Okay, so that's the story behind it. So now what I'm gonna do is flip onto my front, and let me face this way so I'm still doing my left leg. We're gonna foam roll our hip flexor. So the hip flexor starts, it's attached kind of at the top of the quad here, and then it actually goes diagonal through our body and then attaches back here, kind of by our lower back. So it actually goes through our body. So we're going to foam roll this little attachment right here at the beginning. You can also get a ball or have someone massage into the lower part of your abdominals. It's extremely uncomfortable. It's like actually really weird to like feel someone is foam rolling your spleen, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to do this area of between the quad and the hip bone. So we're going to be below the hip bone, and yeah, that's what we're doing. So you're going to lay forward on it. Remember, we're below the hip bone, so once you find where your hip bone is, I want you to completely relax your quad, the front muscle of your leg, and we're going to just search and destroy method it. So I want you to roll forward slowly, roll backwards slowly, maybe turn a little bit to the side, rotate a little bit down. You can internally and externally rotate your leg, your hip, so that you can get a little bit more of the interior part of it, or the top part of it, or the exterior part of it. And you're just manipulating the ligaments and tendons in a way to hit them from different angles. Okay, so once you find a spot, we're going to do what we've been doing and just rest our body weight on it. Ooh, there, okay. This is also helpful because it's distracting me from how painful it is. To be honest, I need to buy a black, harder foam roll. This is a little bit too light for me because, I don't know, I guess I'm adapted to it a little bit, but it's not quite getting as painful or as deep as I would like it to. And if I'm going to spend the time foam rolling, I want to face all the pain. I want to break it up, and I don't want to have to deal with it again. Right? Right. I don't want to have to keep dealing with the same problems just because my foam roller is too soft. So, did I finish my story? Ooh. Okay, so sometimes I like to bring movement, like I said, into the hold. So I'm still resting my body weight. I'm not rolling, but I am going to find a way to move and engage that muscle a little bit. So right now, I am engaging my quad by kicking my leg up so it feels a little tighter. And therefore, it's pushing into the foam roll a little bit deeper, which gives it a little bit of a deeper compression on the point. Sometimes I'll move my hip in an external rotation, again, bringing some movement in, but ultimately I'm not rolling, I'm just putting pressure straight on it from my body to the foam. Wow, I need to vacuum. Yeah. Yep, that's what I'm going to do after this. I won't make a video of it though, I promise. So yeah, my idea, my vision for this is to hang out, to foam roll together, and feel better. So I don't know how long these videos will be. If there are specific muscle groups you need me to focus on first and foremost, send me a message right in the comments below on this video, what you want to see, what you want to learn about, how you, what I can do to help you basically take care of your body better from a foam rolling and stretching perspective. This is basically right now what my body is calling for the most. So that's why I'm starting here. And I know that it's really common for a lot of people. So I'm going to bring the foam roller a little bit diagonal because I'm going to go and try and get the inner thigh area here. So I want to run along the inside of my thigh and a bit of my groin. So this tends to be a really tight spot for me. The inner thigh area attachment, like the very, very top of my leg. So I'm going to externally rotate my leg completely. Okay, so my leg is completely open and I'm resting the innermost band muscle on the foam roller. So I'm trying to get in there as deep as possible. And I'm finding a way to rest the majority of my body weight on that area. And I'm feeling it. Another way that I help myself get a little bit deeper into it is I will actually squeeze my glutes and kind of thrust my hips into the foam roller. Similar to what I was doing before by kicking my leg up and down, but now it's a different muscle, so I'm squeezing my glutes, and that allows me to get in a little bit deeper to the area. And you can search and destroy again, rolling, finding a spot. Okay. So now we're going to move to the hamstring. You can use the foam roller again. I typically like to do one hamstring at a time so I can focus all of my body weight on that one area. So I'm going to move the foam roller all the way down, and I'm going to have my left hamstring just on the last third of it, quarter of it. And my hamstrings are very tight. I don't have much flexibility in them, and I recently worked out and they got really, really tight. So I'm searching and destroying, but it doesn't take me that long to find one. So I'm starting at the very, very top part of my hamstring where it attaches to my glute. And I'm just turning my hips in and out, searching for a spot, found one, and we're going to stay here together. So ideally you are working the same muscle group as me as we're foam rolling. I totally understand if maybe you need to go back to the hip flexor or the glute because that's your tight, where you're finding the most knots. So you can feel free to do that, but I mean, in my head, ideally, we are working the same muscle groups. But either way, the directions that I give you, for the most part, you can apply to any muscle group in the hip area. Oh, God. When I turn my internal rotation here, and I sort of focus on the inner band of my hamstring, the one that's closer to the midline of my body, holy crap! I would be screaming if this was a harder foam roller. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yep, that's the source of it all. Source of evil. Satan's eyeball right there. So, how's your week going? Yep. Mine's going good. I don't know if you can see. No, I think I cropped the camera so you can't, but my apartment's decorated for Christmas because I love Christmas. And it brings me joy to have all of the holiday decorations and stuff out around my apartment. It just feels super cozy. But I cropped them out for this. Sorry, maybe next time you'll get it. So last week was Thanksgiving, and Thanksgiving was really late this year. It was the last week of November. So there's a really short amount of time between Thanksgiving and Christmas, or Thanksgiving and all the December holidays. So I sent a text to my clients this weekend just saying this month, December, tends to be full of, wonder and joy and giving, but it's also filled with chaos and busyness and overload and overcommitment, and whether it's with work or whether it's with family, lots of triggers, right? Triggers. Things that, hello, Satan's eyeball, trigger points, causes lots of pain, causes lots of uncomfortability, and we want to run and resist from. What a great analogy. Totally made that up off the top of my head. So whatever Satan's eyeballs you are going to be triggered by this year in your life, this month in your life, that I don't want, my idea to my clients was, this is going to happen. We know ahead of time that this is a tough month. It can leave you feeling drained. It can leave you feeling exhausted. You can feel completely thrown off. And so many people tend to just throw December out the window. Just garbage month. Not even gonna not even gonna wean? No. Not even going to glean? Is that a word? Taking care of myself this month at all, because there's so many things I have to deal with, so many parties I have to go to, so many gifts I have to buy and then wrap and give and spend money, that so much with work, so much whatever, that I'm going to enjoy all the cookies, I'm going to enjoy all the alcohol, I'm going to enjoy all the holiday meals, but not only just enjoy, but like overindulge is what I'm saying. I'm not going to give a crap about it. And yeah, I typically gain, my like average 5 to 15 pounds. Yes, that is true. 5 to 15 pound gain just over the holiday season. And come Jan 1, 2020, new decade, by the way, I am going to get right back on my track, my plan, and do it right. Yeah. Maybe you don't sound exactly like that, but to some degree, okay? Just work with me. So I'm still on the same trigger point, by the way, because it still hasn't released. So we know this is happening. It happens every year. So is that the way that you feel is the best way to go about this holiday season? Number one, that's the first question. And how can you shift your perspective so that instead of it being you completely giving up on yourself and throwing your hands up this month, instead give to yourself in whatever that looks like, whether it's self-care, through moving your body, through taking care of what you are nourishing your body with in food, in conversation, in what you're listening to, and who you're surrounding yourself by, and the commitments that you say yes to, so that you can prioritize, and maybe for the first time, prioritize your own mental health, your own mindset, your own physical health. Why? Well, tell me if you've ever experienced this, but I definitely have, where you just oh no. No, phone. We don't want you. And of course, it's just like a sales call. Of course. Okay. Where you've crashed, you do what you do in December, it happens every year, but you literally crash into 2020. Drained, on the floor, completely unmotivated, and regretting how crappy you feel. Thinking back and saying, wow, I didn't think I was going to gain this much. I didn't think I was going to feel this bad. Maybe you trigger your depression. Maybe there's anxiety that wasn't there before. Maybe this, maybe that. Maybe your mental health is suffering because of how you have historically handled yourself and your triggers and all the things this month. So by January 1, yeah, you're like, okay, I'm going to make a change. And it is a little bit helpful that the world is kind of making resolutions and making motivation and motivating you to change. But it doesn't last. It lasts a few days, maybe weeks, maybe months. But still at some point, it gets just as hard as if it was any other time of the year. And you just go back to your old habits and go back to your old mindset and what you were doing, what you've been doing for years and years. So my thought is, why not instead completely turn that idea upside down on its head and soar into the new year? Start now, beginning of December, making the mindset shifts, making the habit shifts, working on changing little things now so that you are already in momentum going into not only the next year, but the next decade of 2020. Why not give to yourself, fill your cup, pour into yourself so that you can better pour into the things around you, whether that's spending quality time with people that you love, whether that is having to be committed to a few things that you normally wouldn't, but are going to go to, where you can actually feel your best at and not be overexhausted or overdrained, where you can make healthy choices for yourself with your indulgences, where you can actually enjoy the indulgences and not be controlled by them. Hello? Like, I used to be controlled by food. Food addict over here. And the holiday season was so stressful because it would just be everywhere. And I felt like I couldn't control myself. If I was going to have one cookie, I was going to sneak and eat 10, 20, who knows, cookies at once. Because, God, I wouldn't ever be able to have it ever again. That was kind of my mindset. Oh my God, you need to have it now. You're never going to be able to have it. You don't ever allow yourself to have indulgences. The sugar is so good. I would dream about it. It was a whole food addiction binge eating cycle. So what if you started now facing and taking on yourself throughout this month and giving and pouring into yourself? And it's okay. I want to just throw this out there. You may think, oh, it's selfish to do that. This is a month of giving, a month of being selfless, of showing up and doing things and being with family. And yeah, it is, but is it really only this time of year that you can do that? Be selfless, show up, give to other people? Like, whoever said it was just this 4 to 6 week time of the year that was the time to do it? Why not be someone who does that all the year, regardless of what day it is or whatever? And so being selfish by taking care of yourself as your number one priority, from a perspective of, I am healing myself, I am growing, I am protecting my peace, I am doing things that make me feel alive and thriving and fulfilled and a great version of myself that naturally wants to give, that naturally has more energy, is more vibrant. And from this person, from this place, I'm able to be there for my kids, my spouse, my parents, my sibling, whatever, my job, my friends, the passions that I have. I'm able to be there even more quality, presently, and more fulfilled, where it's way more of a win for everyone involved than if I were to just drag myself and be half here, running on 20%, feeling like crap, and just can't wait to go home so I can go back to bed, so I can go and rest, so I can go and do this. That's kind of how my mindset has run around this time of year and how I think about it. I don't know if that is of value to you or not, but I hope that you can take it and apply it. So in my group, the Warrior Team, which is a free Facebook group where we're just a bunch of women gathered to empower ourselves to recover from depression, anxiety, other struggles, stress, and learn tools to help ourselves. And we're all doing it together. Movement is a huge part of it. Nourishing your body with great food is a huge part of it. Mobilizing and flexing, breathing, being mindful, and celebrating our community is all part of it. So you're more than welcome to join. Just, I'll put the link in the comments below, and you just have to request it, and it's free. But we talk about all this month. We're all on board with soaring into 2020. So if you want a strong community of people to support you and hold you accountable and do all the things with, that's for you. Join us. All right. So I have stretched my left side to quite a bit. And I know this video, like I said, I have no idea how this video is going to go. This video has been going on for quite a long time. So maybe next time I'll have to shorten it up a little bit. But I can certainly feel my left side is way more open and looser than my right side. My right hamstring and hip still feels a little tight. My left one absolutely feels a little bit more released. Let's just do a quick little test. So I'm gonna, ooh, that's the mic. Okay, I'm gonna grab the back of my knee and I'm gonna slightly pull my leg towards me, giving myself a little bit of a hamstring stretch. I'm gonna open it up to the side and back. If you can't reach your knee, grab a dish towel, okay? Grab a necktie, something that you can use. If you have a yoga strap, great, but make it so you can do it. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with my right leg. I think you can see, I don't know if you can see, but it feels a lot tighter. Oh, can't go much further than that. So I hope that this first video was not a complete fail, but I'm going to leave us here. Next time I will manage the time a little bit better so that we can get to both legs and we can do a little bit of stretching after the foam rolling, but maybe I'll just label this as like completely just foam rolling, and I'll probably pick one muscle to foam roll instead of like the whole area, just so we're not here for 2 hours. Yeah, so I will definitely be making more of these videos. Comment below with what you want to see more of. Subscribe to the channel if you want more. And yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.